Here we go. Here we go. Bro, you are stupid. Who you think you is to this game is just an illusion. You're the only legend that I know that they still question your contributions. 15 years in this game, nigga, you still gotta prove it. You know why I never treated you like my equal sugar? Because even today you my substitution. What? I don't know why. I don't know. Lord, they want that shit, nigga. Substitution.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy LG Grown. Obviously, y'all see what I'm watching. The big hype, the big talk of what's been going on. The Shotgun Suge and Easy the Block Captain. They dropped it on YouTube now. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. It is pretty good. It's already at 240K right now. So it's definitely getting the talk as it should. But that's not what we here for, ladies and gentlemen. I popped up, as y'all can see, I'm in the crib. I'm all over the place, but as what we talking right now, I'm excited to announce that the Dallas Cowboys has parted ways with Mike McCarthy. Now, let me say this, because I don't want nobody to be like, let me say this. This is where, because I heard a lot of speculations that was going on, that they were working on a contract with Mike McCarthy. They had it till Tuesday to figure out something, and they decided to part ways. I think that was a great decision. And here's why I'm going to say it's a great decision. Because this tells me a few things that Cowboys are doing. One, even though he dealt with a lot of injuries, there were still flaws in Mike McCarthy. One, he wanted to do play calling. The play calling wasn't all that. It hasn't been all that for a good amount of time, as when he was play calling. Two, the schemes that he had when it came down into the playoffs, especially with the 49ers, he had a hard time capitalizing. Yet and still, you could put a blame on Dan Quinn, as Dan Quinn wasn't staying there. He was leaving. That's fine. You could put that little blame. But you had Mike Zimmer. Nothing changed when you played against the 49ers. And 49ers wasn't even good this year. They were hurt. And you still couldn't beat them. So those were little chinks and flaw that he had that I just could not understand. So, that being said, I feel like this is a great move for Cowboys. I feel like they're gonna go in here and they're actually going to do something productive. They really are. And so the off season, we're gonna go in here. We got a few free agencies, and let's talk about it. Let's see. You got Rico Dallas. I think Rico Dallas is gonna come back as a Cowboy. You could probably give him a 1-year deal, re-sign him. Maybe a 2-year deal. I think that you can give him a 2-year deal. He would be okay. Ezekiel Elliott obviously signed with the Chargers, and now they knocked out. Hilarious. Royce Freeman. We let him go during preseason when we had to make the cut. Chimame Adoga. He was okay, but he's up and down. I don't know if I would re-sign him. Eric Kendricks, I feel like you can bring him back, maybe another 1-year deal. Jordan Lewis, honestly, you could part ways with him. I don't feel like you need to keep him. That's my opinion. But there's other people in the league that you could definitely take a grab at and work your way around. This year we have to put emphasis on solidifying our free agent market. And I hope with the new head coach that comes in there, they can do that. I really hope that they're going to get a good head coach. I know everybody's shooting and hollering about Dion. Pump your brakes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if Dion's going to take, unless they know a valuable source that we don't know, that Dion will come to Dallas. I don't know. Mike McCarthy, listen, we wish him the best. He's gonna definitely get he's either gonna get a podcast, be on the television, or the Saints or the Bears might go ahead and take a shot at him. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, that I don't feel that we're gonna decimate the man of what he has done. Okay? I feel like he did do some good. Obviously, he did some good. But this is the direction that we're heading. We're not heading into saying, okay, let's give him a nice contract, and the only thing you can show is that he goes to the playoffs and be one and done. That's not going to cut it. So I don't feel like you should do that. So I'm glad that Dallas was persistent in this conversation. You know what I'm saying? And whoever goes in as head coach, I hope they have the mindset of telling Jerry Jones what they're trying to do, what they want to do. What can we do to get better? That's the key element. But, so, got that out the way. Let's talk about these playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. I did record something this morning, but I didn't post it. I just didn't like the vibe of what I said, so I felt like I had to do it better inside. So, AFC playoffs, was definitely interested. First game that we had the LA Chargers versus the Houston Texans, 12-32. I had the Chargers winning. But I also told y'all I wouldn't be surprised if Houston came in there and won. I would definitely talk about them. And shout out to Houston. Even with all the stuff they had going on, they were still able to stick to the game plan and beat the Chargers. And Justin Herbert did not look impressive at all. And it's starting to question me about Justin Herbert now. Like, Harbaugh is a good head coach, but I don't know. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens win 28-14. Lamar Jackson's looking like the MVP again. He might get the back-to-back. I don't know. Josh Allen is the only one I could say could possibly take it. We'll have to see. But he's just looking tuned. He got the game down pat. It's going to be hard to beat them Baltimore, but you know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh Steelers, you got a big decision to decide on the all season. Are you going to keep Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? Out of them two. You ain't going to be able to keep both. You're going to have to figure. Russell Wilson wasn't bad, but Justin Fields is younger. So, I mean, if I was the coach, I'd probably lean towards Justin Fields because he's younger. He gives a little bit. You just got to find the right scheme for Justin Fields. But I feel like Pittsburgh is known for veteran, so they might stick with Russell Wilson again. Let's get to the final game. The final game was Denver Broncos versus Buffalo Bills. It was a one-sided game. Buffalo came in there with 31-7. Denver Broncos are a young squad. You know what I'm saying? They got a young quarterback, Bo Nix. I don't think anybody expect a lot from him. But the fact that he made it to the playoffs and that was it. But that's the risk of when you're in the playoffs. It's either you ride with the rookie, you don't ride. It's like tomato. But next week, You're going to have Kansas City versus Houston, Texas. I'm going to still lean towards Kansas City of winning this game. This is definitely going to be an interesting bout. I believe they played each other during the season, and Kansas City won that game, if I'm not mistaken. But Kansas City, you give them a week rest. Rest out their key players. Hopefully some people be coming back. I don't know if Chris Jones coming back or not. Nevertheless, but they shall see. But I got Kansas City winning against Houston. And then in the other side, you got Baltimore versus Buffalo. Very interesting bout. Last time these two met each other, Baltimore came out with the dub. I can see this one being a good one. As far as who I got winning, I'm going to lean towards Baltimore. I think Baltimore should be able to pull it off because they have Derrick Henry. That workload off of Lamar Jackson, it saves him from having to run so much. He alleviate all that by doing that. And I feel like Buffalo, as good as Buffalo played this year, but you still gotta want a lot from your quarterback. So I'm still gonna lean towards Buffalo, but Baltimore. But if Buffalo pulls it off, I'm gonna be here to talk about it. All right, and we on the NFC side. So far, we got one already. Is going to the next round, and that's Green Bay versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia wins 22-10. This game was real weird. A lot of injuries in this game caused a lot of from Green Bay had a lot of injuries. You hope everything's okay, but it was just crazy. Every time you turn around, somebody got hurt. So I don't know. But Philadelphia you could tell that Philadelphia players that didn't play was rusty. But Saquon still ran good. And next week they're gonna have to either face Minnesota or the Rams for the next round. And then you got the next game. Washington versus Tampa Bay. Washington pulls it off 23-20 by the field goal. It was crazy at the last minute. But shout out to Washington. Washington pulled it off. Everybody had Tampa Bay winning, and Tampa Bay did not pull it off. What I'm saying? That was very interesting in that game. But, next week, Washington got a big test. They go against Detroit. I don't know if you're going to do the same thing to Detroit, but we shall see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. But this is my intake. I just talked about this whole McCarthy breakdown, and once we find out who is the next head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, we will be on here. We will be on here breaking it down. The head coach, what he brings to the table, what do I think about the new head coach, and all that. All right? But until then, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay tuned. You know what it is. I holla.